Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well. Mr. Putin discloses or reveals Russia's military advantage. Second topic. Putin also tells us that there's no unfriendly countries. It's only unfriendly elites. Who are the elites? What are the elites? Are they the people, or are they the ones that drag the people after them or behind them and make them elect them? What are the elites? Now we find out that the Ukrainian drone, the Flamingo missile drone, however you want to categorize it as, the one with 1,400 kilometers range, that I think is just built on an old Soviet missile that I presented in an article, in a video yesterday, is capable of wiping up how much? 90% of the Russian defense industries. Well, and not only, it can hit also the Kremlin, can it? Then we find out that Mr. Rutte, the Secretary of NATO, gives us an inversion of reality. We're used to that. Up is down all of a sudden, and down is up. Left is actually right, and right is actually left. The good people are the evil people are the good people. So he tells us what Ukraine needs to avoid another ever Russian invasion. Well, I have a quick answer, and he thinks is the security guarantees for Ukraine. Well, I would give you this: security guarantees from whom? Or against whom? Against the Russians or against NATO? Because Russia would not have invaded Ukraine without NATO being in Ukraine. So I think eliminating NATO, getting it out, that's the biggest security guarantee that Ukraine can get, I think. Then we move to a new, how should I put it, success coming from the evil Russians, the inversion, the evil Russians, and that is they liberate 2 more settlements in Donetsk. So that means they're advancing. Yeah. Okay, let's start with the first topic, which is Russia's military advantage, according to Vladimir Putin. Russia Today, 22nd of August 2025. Putin reveals Russia's military advantage. Moscow's nuclear submarines cannot be tracked by foreign radars. The president says, where? Well, you find out. Russian nuclear submarines are capable of sailing undetected beneath Arctic ice, President Putin said on Friday. Speaking at a meeting with nuclear sector workers in Sarov, east of Moscow, Putin stressed that the Arctic region is crucial for Russia's defense. He added that Arctic research is also extremely important as shipping routes are becoming more accessible due to melting ice. And I'm quoting, it is our competitive advantage because many countries are interested in using the routes. And I'm talking about northern route or the corridor, however we want to call it. All right, so this is what he says about this. Well, he talks about the Borei-class nuclear submarines, which Russia built 8 of them, and 2 more are under construction. And this is what they say. These submarines are equipped with Bulava ballistic missiles, which have a range of 8,000 kilometers, which is almost 5,000 miles. So what's going on? He claims this. The submarine goes pick, and is detected from above, he says. And then once it goes underneath the Arctic cap, ice and so on, you can't detect them from above. And then they enter, let's say this is the cap from the north, okay? They enter underneath here and then exit here, or they can exit here. So he claims that these guys are incapable of detecting where the submarines are going to exit after. It's like you go under a shade or shadow. You're in the shade of a tree. So underneath the shade, the sun cannot see you. That is the satellite monitoring systems, whatever. This is the explanation. And then once you get out of it, there's a capability of these guys to really see you. And that's the advantage. But aren't the Americans capable of doing that as well? Well, this is what it is, my friends. This is what it is. So let's go to the next topic and talk about the elites. Sputnik. Russia has no unfriendly countries, only unfriendly elites, Putin says. What does it mean? Well, what are the elites? Well, the elites must be the creme de la creme of a society, the more refined, the more knowledgeable, the sophisticated ones, the most courageous, the best of the best. I know it's politically incorrect because you all are the best. We all get a trophy. But it's not so, you know that. So the elites are the people with money, with political, people that can make big changes in a society. These are the elites that make the real changes. I cannot make a big change. I don't know about you, but people in general cannot make big changes. If you were, I would have heard from you. Maybe, I don't know, you're one of those elites. Unfortunately for us, the real elites are not really known. Or you can't really say, well, is that an elite or not? Because you can say, well, Zuckerberg is an elite. No, I don't think Zuckerberg is an elite. It's not necessarily the money that gets you to be an elite. What can you do with the influence? You say, well, I mean, it got Meta, it got all this Facebook and so on. It is true. It is true. But who can take care of Zuckerberg? Zuckerberg is nothing versus, let's say, FBI. FBI can get, or CIA is from outside, but with a little bit of effort, they can take care of him. Or, DHS and others, they can take care of him. That means he's not really an elite. He can bring money left and right, but he's not sitting in a room and deciding, this is what America is going to be. Let's make this. Let's put that guy over there. That guy is going to have the interest of Israel at heart or something like that. So that's not going to be. What else? Who can be? Is Trump an elite? Well, now he is an elite to the extent that he really is in charge of the presidency of the United States of America. Is he really over there? He's got the money, he's got the power, he's got the authority, and he's going to be an elite. More or less, before he was a little elite. He was giving money and then asked for favors. But in his little thing, he was not asking for money, I know, go to Honduras and bomb Honduras to build a hotel over there. Or was he? Anyway, the elites, you can consider people with power, real power in a society. That's a hierarchy over there as well. Like the Clintons. Clintons, you can consider them an elite. They have a lot of connections. They have a lot of people who owe them something. They have the money. They have the name. They are part of the elites. The Bush family is part of the elites, waning away. Obama wormed itself into the elite apparatus by doing what he was supposed to do, coming from the elites, from the financial sector, from the industrial sector. Those are the elites. The guys in charge of big Amoco companies or Sunoco companies or BP or Shell. These guys are the elites, the guys in charge of it, or even some generals or people who can figure things out or be in charge of decision-making apparatus of the military or CIA. You can say, well, or FBI. You say, well, these guys are eliminated if they won by the president. They can be removed. Yes and no. It depends. That's a fight among elites as well. It's not like it's a homogeneous elite that they all look at the same interest. It's not so. For instance, Tesla, let's say you what's his name? Elon Musk, you can consider him an elite. I don't consider him an elite. But let's say, I'm going to show you how things could fight one another. He is not for the, how do you call it? For petrochemical resources. He is with Tesla, with lithium, with other resources. So he is not for it. On the other hand, General Motors or companies that use on petrol products, they're going to be for it. I know Tesla has a lot of petrol in it. Why? Because the inside of a Tesla is made of plastic. The Tesla tires are made of plastic. Plastic is made out of oil eventually, right? Petrol products. But nevertheless, or the steering wheel and many other things in the Tesla. It's just a BS. I'm just saying the interests are a little different. So if the combustion engine wins, he with the battery operated cars have more to lose, and vice versa. It's not necessarily that one destroys the other one. They can be functioning in parallel as well. But this is just an example, and many other examples where things like the windmills, now that they have the energy, again, those guys with the petrol and so on. So these are the elites, and he's right. There are elites in the media as well, which are big elites. Like, I don't know, Murdoch and others that we don't even know. The guys that own Google, the ones that own Google's, the ones that are in charge of Disney and others, Verizon, Communication, and many others companies. I'm not going to mention Goldman Sachs or things like this. All right, next one, and he's right about it. Rank and file, or the citizens, get their information from the elites most of the time, which is their mainstream media and their platforms operated and owned by the elites, as much as they let us yap around here, to the extent that they allow us still. All right, let's look at a big Ukraine form. Ukraine's new cruise missile FP-5 Flamingo can reach 90% of Russian defense industries. Well, if these guys are going to start using this far away, and really if the Russians, if this is real, I still have to determine if that's really a real threat for the Russians. That's the first one. The second one, if the Russians are hurt by this missile, I guarantee you the Russians will hit them big time. And they will hit them big time in the with Oreshnik and others. We'll just go and flatten them. So it's yeah, we can hit them, but if you hit them, the Russians will get really upset about it. Next one. Let's go and see what Rutte thinks. Rutte, as I said, is just a secretary. He's not in charge of a country. He's not in charge of nuclear weapons. He's just a secretary. He's a person who tells us what other people decided, which is the elites, remember. Rutte, according to the new Voice of Ukraine, in Kyiv, security guarantees must deter Russia from ever invading Ukraine again. Well, I know how that could be done. Get NATO out. If you get NATO out, Russia will never invade Ukraine again. Keep your NATO in and try to get in, Russia will invade Ukraine again. Very easy. If Russia is strong. Now, if you destroy Russia, then Ukraine will never be invaded by Russia again, because it will be owned by the elites in the West. All right? And let me show you another. It's the same article, but with a different title. That's the way I picked it today. And here it is. Right there. It's the same thing. Oh, I have this on top of it. All right, here it is. So the same is from today, and it says what? Rutte in Kyiv, Ukraine must never face Russian invasion again. Correct. And it's the same picture as this one right here, the same thing. Why? Yes, must never. Get your troops out and stop trying to take over countries. And Russia will not probably invade Ukraine again. Why probably? I don't have a silver crystal globe here to tell you, oh, no, they're never going to do it. But, and if make Russia weak, again, they will never invade. So which one is going to be? Well, at this point, they try to get Russia to be weak, and they're not succeeding. Let's see what the Russians are doing in Ukraine militarily. According to Sputnik, Russian army liberates, that's how they call it, settlements of Kleban-Byk and Sredneye in Donetsk People's Republic. Where are those located? All right, Kleban-Byk Pakaruk is right here. It's south of Konstantinivka, and I will show you where it is. So this is where, let me just get this out and get it like that. The Konstantinivka, and this is the big settlement right here. 5 houses, 3 dogs, and 1 horse and 3 cows. 50 chickens as well. So this is what was liberated. This is Konstantinivka, and I'm going to show you another map, a bigger map, so you know where that is located. So this is the map of Ukraine right here, and Konstantinivka is exactly here, or Konstantinovka right here. So they are in here in the south. Remember, Konstantinovka, this is the location. And then on the other map, again, Konstantinovka here. This is by Pokrovsk, which is Krasnoarmeysk right here. So these guys are going towards Adrivka right here, and they're going to go around Krematorsk, they're going to go around Slavyansk. This is going to be a big encirclement right here. Right here. If the Russians are meeting here, like in Stalingrad, these guys are done. And this is Pokrovsk again, is going to be little by little encircled. So when they say it's a stalemate in Ukraine, I don't think it's not. I don't think it's a stalemate. So this is one. And the other one is located right here. The other settlement called Sredneye. Right there, this is the town. And this is almost at the intersection of Luhansk Oblast, Donetsk Oblast, and then you have Kyiv Oblast. Here is the intersection, Pakatsaka, exactly here of the three oblasts, which are located right there. The three oblasts meet here, and this town of Bethlehem is located a little bit southwest of that, exactly here. Again, 3 cows, 5 chicken, and 1 horse. Here it is. This is the town. And this is located, as I said, right at the intersection north of Slavyansk. That is right here. Slavyansk here, so the Russians are here in this area. In the big scheme of things, liberated there, liberated here. Pak, tsak. Okay, my friends, this is for now. I will make 2 more videos today while I'll be on my way. And I will make probably one from my property and the other one probably from the beach. Not from the beach, you know what I mean? From the beach walking by the Lake Michigan or sitting down. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth and be just. See you later.